I'm going to do an initial impressions of a knife that was sent to me by Knife Yak. This is going to be an initial impressions of the Bodacious. So he purchased this. This is his knife. He's been using it. This is not brand new. So he sent it to me to review, and I'm going to give my initial impressions of this knife now. Sent it in this Benchmade pouch. I know he's a fan of these pouches, and these pouches are part of his everyday carry. Let's see what we've got. So he sharpened this on a Work Sharp Professional Precision Adjust, and he did it to 15 degrees per side, and then stropped on a 4 micron, then 1 micron strop. Wow. I already like this thing. So I'm going to do a quick edge check. This is extraordinarily sharp. Very, very thin. That 15 degrees is super, super thin. This thing just shaves like freaking absolute crazy. Just barely touch the hair and it goes flying off. Yeah. Totally cut this hair. So this thing is easily a 5+, judging from how it cuts the hair and how easily it shaves my arm hair. It is just cropping my arm hair just even above the skin. This thing is extremely, extremely sharp. Well done, Knife Yak. You've got a good edge on this thing. Not even a problem at all. Try it on this catalog paper. This thing is just screaming sharp. All right, so here's just some quick specs on this thing. The blade length is 3.66 inches. The weight is 4.8 ounces. I noticed right away that the handle doesn't really have any particular finger grooves or anything forcing you to hold it a certain way, so you can hold it forward or back. But this G10 is very slippery feeling. It's super, super polished, so it's not textured like the PM2 G10 or anything like that. The handle's very flat. He found many reviews on it, but very few where people actually had used it. And he found a lot of reviews where it was compared to the Shaman. So we may talk about that just very briefly, but my intention of this review is not to make this a Bodacious versus Shaman review. I'm just going to mostly review this knife on its own, but I may make a couple comparisons or comments. One thing I noticed right away is that this knife has no choil here. So this blade edge goes pretty much all the way down to the bottom. So I have here a Shaman. You can see that the Shaman has a choil. Bodacious, no choil. Cutting edge on the Bodacious goes further down towards the bottom, and the Shaman has a noticeably rounder handle. So the Bodacious handle feels very flat. Shaman handle is quite a bit rounder. Does kind of melt into my hand a little bit more. Choil does give you another option for holding it there. When Knife Yak was looking at these knives, one of the things that kept coming up in many of the reviews was, you know, why is this knife necessary? It's basically just another Shaman. The similarities are obvious. I mean, it's definitely very, very similar in terms of blade shape and size and everything else. But the Shaman is heavier, does have a thicker blade stock. I think the blade stock is 0.02 inches thicker, almost half a millimeter thicker. But the handle definitely is flatter, more angular here. These kind of has some edges on the Bodacious, and all the handle areas on the Shaman are more radiused and chamfered or whatever, and not quite as angular and bitey. That's about as far as my comparison is going to go with those two. That's just something to keep in mind if you haven't seen those knives before. That's the Shaman, but here I go. I'm going to review this Bodacious and see what I think about it.